a man's sexual orientation within the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. Next is bisexual. It is a man or woman who are emotionally and sexually attracted to men or women. A bisexual is a person, can be a man or a woman. So they feel emotional and sexual attraction to both men and women. So they might be interested in either gender for relationship and romantic connections. Next is the transgender. So when your gender identity or how you feel is different from your physical sex, male or female. So transgender is when a person's internal sense of their own gender, how they truly feel about who they are, doesn't match their physical sex they were assigned at birth, male or female. So for example, a when someone born male might feel like a woman, like a woman inside, or it is a vice versa. Next is queer. It is used by people who celebrate all gender identities. Can also mean someone who do not want to restricted as lesbian, gay, or bisexual. So queer has a few meanings. So it's used by those who embrace and celebrate all kinds of gender identities. So it can also be a term for people who didn't want to be limited, or it is people who labeled as just lesbian, gay, or a bisexual. So it is a more inclusive and flexible. So it is a way for some to describe their sexual orientation or a gender identity. So next is intersex. So it is people who are born with sex orientations or chromosomes patterns do not fit the typical male or female body. So intersex, it is an individual are born with sex characteristics such as genitals or chromosomes patterns, so it don't fit in the commonly definitions of a typical male or female body. So it is important for us to recognize and respect the diversity and unique identities of intersex people. Next is asexual or ally. So it is asexual are people who do not feel sexual attractions to anyone, but it does not mean that they don't have or do not engage in romantic or sexual relationship. Allies are straight or heterosexual people who are fighting for LGBT rights. So asexual, it is a people don't experience sexual attractions towards others. However, this doesn't rule out them having romantic or even sexual relationships. So their lack of sexual attraction is just aspect of their identity. And the word allies or ally, on the other hand, it is a straight or heterosexual individuals. So they play a crucial role by actively supporting and advocating for LGBT rights, working towards a more inclusive and equal society for all. Next is the plus sign in LGBTQIA+. It stands for all sexual orientations and gender identities, not in the LGBTQIA plus acronym like pansexual and demisexual, highlighting community diversity. Knowledge in the human sexuality is still evolving, so there are many terms that pops up. Here are a few more to help us become more inclusive. So the androgynous, it is a people whose gender expression or their physical appearance may or may not be distinctively male or female. So androgynous, so it describes the people whose physically appearance doesn't clearly fit as only male or female. So their look can blend elements of both genders, be neutral, showing different forms of gender expressions. Let us define the gender and gender identity. So, gender, it is your internal sense of being masculine or feminine or neither. So, gender, it is your inner sense of being masculine, feminine, or neither. It's about how you perceive yourselves on the inside. And gender identity, it is a closely related. So, it's the way you feel, whether your identity as a man, a woman, or something else that doesn't fit into those two categories. So, it's a personal and deeply held aspect of an individual's self concept. Next is gender expression. It is how you outwardly show your gender identity. So, it includes clothing, hairstyle, mannerism, and voice. So, it is a personal way to convey who you are independently of traditional gender norms. For example, a person may wear a mix of typical male and female styles, so respect for diverse gender expression is key. So the next is sexual orientation and sex assigned at birth. So sexual orientation, it is your emotional and sexual attraction to a person, and sex assigned at birth is your given sex when you were born based on your sex organ. So sexual orientation is refers to who you are emotionally and sexually attracted, like being attracted to the same sex or opposite sex or both. And sex assigned at birth is the same is the sex you are labeled with when you were born. So which is determined by your external sex organ. So it's usually male or female. So but some are intersex with non-typically features. Okay. Next is cisgender. So it is when your gender identity matches with the sex you are assigned at birth. So cisgender, it describes someone whose gender identity aligns with the sex they were assigned at birth. So cisgender, this means they feel comfortable and identify with the gender